So it's about 6 o'clock this morning, but people don't have to accept things. People don't have to be okay with things. I mean, it's their right. I mean, they have a right to defriend me from Facebook, which I've been defriended by like probably like 7, 8 people so far on my Facebook because of whatever they're. But um, people got to keep in mind that this is. I want to say some of what I'm going through is easy, because some of what I'm going through isn't easy. But the only choice I could make for myself was to join the conservatives after I already tried working with, and supporting the liberals and the Democrats. I supported the liberals and the Democrats, and I tried to support them and their ideologies, and wasn't treated with respect, wasn't treated with value. I was gonna still say Black Lives Matter, but I was still gonna say, I wanted to be with a black woman, and because I wanted to be with a black woman, I was a race traitor. I was all these other names in the book, because I was white and I wanted to be with a black woman. Um, but yeah, I was gonna try to say Black Lives Matter, even though I was a little rocky at the time about what I was gonna say about Black Lives Matter, whether it was all lives or Black lives, and that turned into a bunch of drama. There were some people that just didn't like me or just didn't care for me in the black community. Some of them were part of the cultural group. They didn't care for me. That really liked me. For whatever the reason, or they wanted to make me the example. They wanted to come and make me the example because apparently I was getting a lot of privilege, or I was getting a lot of opportunities under the gallery owner I was working with, and under the certain people in the arts and etc. So they wanted to come and change things with their narrative and their Black Lives Matter and etc. That, because I was getting too much privilege or whatever the fuck they want to say. So I basically got booted out of my position as somebody who was, thought of very highly, in the local community in the arts. And some of the official blows actually officially blew, pretty much ruined publishing deals, and about me getting published. Even if it's with a foundation, an anthology with a foundation, it ruined deals of me getting published. With a foundation for anthologies for being published and getting my poems published, and it's ruined, me possibly meeting some of my heroes, some more of my heroes, or being in contact with some more of my heroes, because the foundation worked with certain parts of my heroes and etc. Because there's this big blow up locally, and some people have personal vendettas in this too. I don't know. I don't fully understand what their fucking problem is, or what the fucking problem is when people have a personal vendetta. But there's personal vendettas in this shit too. So, but there were personal vendettas. There were vendettas where people wanted to use Black Lives Matter and their ideologies to pretty much to make an example out of me and etc. Because I was white, and if I was gonna get with it, I was gonna get with it. And if I wasn't, I wasn't. And basically, I chose not to deal with the abuse and the issues that came with, it stemmed from this and the woke racism that I am no longer supporting Kamala. I'm no longer supporting Joe Biden. I'm no longer supporting Black Lives Matter. I fell out with several people, in the arts, and some people didn't even like me to begin with, and it's such a big mess that it has so much avenues of what went wrong that it was best for me to just walk away and just not even have to deal with it. But part of my healing and part of where I'm going with things is the fact that I'm going to be more Republican instead of liberal or Democratic. Is it an easy move? I mean, it's not an easy move because there's some things I'm still working with life adjustments and etc. that I'm still trying to adjust to, that I'm still struggling with, especially because I once believed so highly in people, whose ideologies would not let them, treat me with respect and etc. But yet I believe so highly in working with some of these people and calling them friends and calling them like allies at one point, that they really weren't allies and they really weren't, really weren't my friends. So it's kind of does really kind of hurt, because it's like I wanted to put so much, energy and time into these people, and I only only got hurt in return. So but that's basically where I'm at. At one point in time, I was never going to say that Black Lives didn't matter. This time, I don't even really fucking care about Black Lives Matter. But at one point, I was going to say Black Lives Matter. I just wanted to be with a black woman, and because I wanted to be with a black woman, there was issues. Nobody's ever really fucking happy with the liberal and democratic ideologies, apparently. So, but I do. I like black women. I want to date outside my race. I want to date outside my background. I'm open to dating outside my race and my background, but I'm gonna have to do so now as a Trump supporter, because that's where I want to go with my views, and that's where I feel like my ideologies are gonna be more centered at this time with what I believe in, or what I've come to believe in the last several months to several years. Slowly but surely, I've come to believe certain things, and from what I personally experienced supporting, the liberals and the left and the Democrats and stuff like that. So people are mad at me because obviously, people feel like, oh, you're no longer liberal or Democratic. They're not voting for Kamala or Kami the communist or whatever the fuck her name is. But basically people are mad at me because the thing is, I was once a liberal, an uneducated liberal, or an uneducated person trying to support the liberals, and trying to show my support for people and things. And people say too that the arts are very liberal. The arts are very liberal. They're controlled by the liberals. They're controlled by the Democrats. The arts are controlled. A good portion of our media, especially with the arts, is controlled by the liberals and the Democrats. It's sad but true. A lot of people, some people don't like what some of the stuff that's being promoted and shown on TV, and some of it's getting cancel cultured and stuff like that by people, because it's too woke or it's too leftist for really people to really even care about. So, but. And then there's stuff that just gets by. But I don't know. I'm just at that point where it's just like, People are mad at me though. People are mad at me. People have a right to defriend me if they have to defriend me from Facebook. But I mean, there's people I would love to keep on my Facebook, but if they delete me, I can't really stop people from going. So, no, but people are mad at me because I was one, because I'm saying I'm Republican, and it's true, I'm Republican. I'm going Republican. I'm going to the side of voting for Donald Trump, and what's his name, Robert Kennedy and stuff like that. So, so I'm not really gonna be sitting here voting for Kamala the commie, or Joe Biden, or anybody like that right now. I am seriously thinking about putting Trump back in office, and it bothers people. It bothers people because people are so-called afraid of what the society and the world might be like if we vote Trump back in office. And I can remember what it was like when Trump was in office. There was a lot more peace. There was a lot of other things going on that were really really good for the world and society. But yeah, anyways. People are mad. People are pissed. I can't stop people from being pissed. I can't stop people from being in their ideologies. And I've learned that because obviously everybody's going to have their own ideologies. But obviously, if I don't believe in your ideologies, and you really feel it's a conflict of interest to who you are, then you don't really have to be friends with me or, be on my page. I've lost half my artist career basically because of the leftist ideologies and kind of being, having the rug swept from under me because of them, and because of some personal shady shit that went down, and etc. Like the fact that there was this pregnant woman that used me years ago, and she shows up at the arts, or she has connections to people at the arts, and they knew who this pregnant woman was, and they knew this pregnant woman very well, and she kind of says these things about, oh, this person was this way or that way to me, and etc., and then people believe it, but really not knowing the whole story, or really not knowing who actually was involved, or how the other person was affected, that was involved. Not that they care, because that person, was obviously a black woman that I slept with when she was pregnant, and obviously I was young, I was dumb, I did some stupid shit, but it still led to a lot of issues, and I don't really want to go back and relive these issues. I don't really want to go back and relive anything with her, but some personal issues like that are getting in the way, or some personal issues with like relationships and personal relationships and things I've had with people out in the black community and stuff in Torrington. People who I've either tried to befriend, or once really tried to admire, or just have a connection with, that was maybe gonna just be hopefully something of pleasurable, but like limited experience, which those unfortunately did not happen without drama. You can't flirt with somebody sometimes without there being drama, because people have a right to feel how they feel, and if people don't feel the same way, then people are gonna sit there and complain and whine about it, or throw a little temper tantrum because, oh, he's flirting with me and I don't feel the same way. But we're not in childish high school and shit like that, but yet people in the mental health program definitely do that. But because some of these people are black, because some of these people are black and etc., I don't really have a say, because I'm obviously white, and the ideologies go that, the white people, were the colonizers, and they were this and that, so white people can't be trusted and shit like that. So my whole reputation with my name kind of got soiled in the arts, or with the artist people who I was working with, because of what had happened. I mean, people were supporting me at one point. People were, on my side and being my friends and etc. But some people, not everybody. Some people, could have gave me better promotions. Some people could have promoted me better. Some people could have, shown me more respect as an artist and etc. And they didn't. Like the open mic people, the open mic I was going to, the artists, they wanted to show respect to all these other artists, but when it came to me, I wasn't really respected as an artist and etc. I wasn't really, put on the block to be respected, or or seen as a respectable artist, which really sucked, because I only went there with for like respect and try to be, polite and etc. And what had happened was an argument basically over the fact that I was trying to just say, look, I mean, may not agree with everything that goes on, or what you guys support and agree with, but I try to support you guys, and I try to be, I tried to be respectful and etc. But all I got was like, I don't have a lot of time for this, and we kind of do support these people, and we kind of do support them. So if you don't like it, you suck it up and you deal with it, or you get you move the fuck on. So I said, okay, and he didn't quite say move the fuck on, or but he did kind of say we do support these people, and was kind of telling me, I'm going to support these people, and if you don't like it, get the fuck on, because that's kind of what the attitude of the situation was. My publisher said no, he was just saying he didn't have a lot of time, but no, he was telling me, to just get the fuck on, because they really don't want me at the open mic night, or at least they didn't want me at the open mic night, and etc. Eventually I got really lucky, because they ended up canceling the open mic night altogether. They ended up canceling the event and the venue and the situation. So I wasn't I wasn't too, I wasn't too sorry for the loss, and eventually they canceled, they decided not to do it because of time, resources, and etc., that they couldn't keep it going. So, but no, I was once very liberal. I mean, I experienced the liberal stuff firsthand. I mean, I experienced, whether it was the good, bad, or the ugly. And I mean, a lot of it for me was kind of ugly, and it kind of had a lot of issues. So, My mother is very conservative. My mother is very conservative, and she's a very conservative household. As I said, I mean, people don't know about my history with the state and the background of me, going in with DCF and etc. Because my mom got very sick and she couldn't take care of me, and my dad, was a fucking deadbeat, and this whole history about family basically that kind of impacted my life, um, to be where I'm at today. But my mom has always been very conservative, despite the fact, and she's always tried to raise me in a conservative light when it comes to God and being a man of God and living by the Bible and God's word. But obviously, being in the system and being in, people can't tell you what to do. People fully can't do. Well, when I was younger, people could tell me what to do. But now that I'm an adult and have adult rights, people can't really fully tell me what to do or what to believe in. They can just tell me, if there's certain ways I can put in the work to try to figure out how I'm either growing or not growing from a situation and how it might impact me and etc. Like, nobody can tell me not to use tarot cards. I got tarot cards here. Nobody can tell me not to use tarot cards. Nobody can tell me that it's not okay to use tarot cards because I have a right to use tarot cards. And I still use tarot cards. I mean, I'm still conservative. I mean, some conservatives, people who believe in God, there's people I believe in God that are conservative. Or I would say maybe they're not conservative, but they believe in God that I follow on YouTube. Also believe in God, but they use tarot cards, and they may not agree with everything that gets thrown out there with tarot cards. But regardless, I mean, I got rid of a lot of my witchcraft. I got rid of my pendulums, got rid of my Ouija board. I got rid of, my altar. I got rid of all that, witchcraft stuff. The only thing I really have is like sage and tarot cards. I got like sage in a bottle to spray sage to like cleanse the house and to give positive energies, but I got like tarot cards. That's basically all I got really left of my witchcraft, or if you won't even want to call it witchcraft, because that the whole thing that way was looked like I had an altar. It really wasn't an altar. Well, basically, it kind of looked like an altar because it basically had a bunch of stuff on it that a bunch of knickknacks and things I inherited from different people and things and different things I've had throughout my history, from my stepfather and etc. that I've had throughout my history that I put on this shelf. That some of them were hunting things, some of them were rocks, some of them were just special knickknacks and things, and I just went through everything and tried to downsize the knickknacks and etc. And basically, it was just like a little knickknack shelf that had a couple of things on there, like candles and things that I bought, that I ended up, getting rid of because obviously I don't want to, support witchcraft and stuff like that because, um, I don't know. I've had a lot of experience where people were doing witchcraft, especially trying to do witchcraft against me or etc. Especially candle magic and etc. People are trying to do witchcraft, and and I know this firsthand that people have been trying to do candle magic, and especially a woman I trauma bonded with because I guess obviously she thinks because I was into tarot cards and shit that she can go explore her her spirituality and which is leading her to witchcraft and etc. because she's a black woman and Oshun or whatever they call them, all the what they call the black witches, and um, and etc. But I've had to really. That's kind of why I have the sage, because I really had to sage and spray. I had to sage the house, and I had to spray the house, and I had to get black salt. I had to get black salt, sage the house, and etc. I had to do everything. I had to look into all these different things for protection because basically I know a woman that was basically casting spells or doing what she was doing to possibly try to curse me or try to have an interference into my life with her her ancestry or etc. with like candle magic and etc. Granted, the woman has a lot of a lot of issues and things, and some of them even are shown on Twitter and etc. Where she's in a fucking diaper and her baby's father are, having sex, and and then she's like a pay pig, and they want telling people to pay her so they can have sex or they can use her for their company and time. And if I ever knew that woman, basically if I ever knew that woman basically, would trauma bond with me in such a way, and if I ever knew what she really was when I went at the time that I didn't know, I was getting to know her and I was trauma bonding, I would probably would have a different outlook, because where I am now with my outlook about this woman and what once was with this woman, are quite different, and because I have this outlook now where I realize that she really isn't worth it and she's really absolutely disgusting, it really helps me. It really helps me to move on and just really release myself from the bond and the trauma bond and etc. Realizing she was just absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it was a trauma bond. It was a trauma bond, and in that trauma bond, it was like was like sexual, had sexual overtones and etc. Like going down the rabbit hole, basically. Um, and basically, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. And basically, just basically some oversharing. Basically, some oversharing about fantasies and things, about dark fantasies, and some of it not even really healthy. Some of it not healthy, some of it not appropriate, It was a really bad situation with this woman, and I don't know where, I mean, I don't know. But it was a situation that really, kind of also impacted myself as somebody who is who is white and with the black community, because obviously she was a black woman. She was a black woman, and I don't think she has a really healthy lifestyle to begin with. I think she was the toxic one. I think she was the toxic one already coming into a situation that really kind of needed some healing and needed to be worked out on my end. I needed some things that needed to be worked out and healed on my end, but she came in with her toxicity and stuff and kind of put the catalyst and swept the rug from right under me and right into the situation where I kind of had to move on, and my life has never been the same. My life and my situation has never been the same with with anything. And some of what she might have to say too, which also could be blackmail and etc. Because obviously I overshared and etc. And she's not necessarily very healthy, so whatever she has to say could be very toxic and really kind of like blackmail, or if people believe her, it can be very damaging to my reputation, or how people feel, but I don't really give a shit about my reputation. My reputation in this town and just with everything is just going to fucking hell. So my reputation, my last of my reputation, the last of what was supposed to be really good for me was supposed to be the arts, and the arts basically went downhill. So I mean, I'm still trying to be an artist. I'm still trying to, do what I have to do, and I'm trying to do it on my own and etc. And have a couple opportunities in the arts when it comes to my mental health and etc. But or my mental health program. But you know, for the most part, black some black women just really, they act like I'm just like the toxic one, or I'm just like the person that had all the issues, and really they had a part to play in shit too. But yet, because they're black and etc. with like the ideologies and stuff, I'm getting kind of chewed out or blacklisted as a white man because I was obviously with that person and they were black, and because they're black they should have more of a I don't know, just a thing around them to say something about me being white and me being in that position as a white person. So I don't really know how to explain it, but regardless, the ideologies are very prevalent. Ideologies are very prevalent to everybody. I mean, obviously, if you don't agree in ideologies and you got to fight with people over ideologies and what people believe in, you really don't need to be friends with these type of people or involved with these type of people if you're gonna argue and fight over ideologies and things that you're gonna disagree with. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to build a relationship with somebody and etc. I forget exactly what it was. It was a video where it said if you something about ideologies, and if your ideologies don't match and it's causing more issues about your ideologies, then that person's not for you. You've already outgrown that person. You've already outgrown that person. You already should be moving on, because they don't really fit fit the mold of what you're trying to look for. And I learned a lot about ideologies and you know, sorry, not fitting the mold and etc. So, I got nasal drip this morning. My allergies are prevalent right now, but they don't fit the mold of your ideologies and etc. So I don't know. A lot of things about ideologies that basically, the ideology thing about where the world is full of ideologies and all these, movements and things. And if you don't get with the movements or the ideologies, for some people, you're the bad guy. Or if you're behind these other movements and ideologies, you're also the bad guy. So it doesn't really matter. You're always the bad guy to somebody in the story of the ideologies or etc. You're always going to be the bad guy, especially in the personal situation. One person always ends up the bad guy, or they both, to that person they end up the bad guy, and to the other person you end up the bad guy, because in both people's eyes you're both the bad guy. But nobody wants to take responsibility to heal or grow or do what they have to do to heal themselves in the situation to really realize where they went wrong. So, it just turned into a whole bunch of issues, especially with Black Lives Matter and etc. So, um, but anyways, that's what I gotta say at this point. I am conservative. I am conservative at this point, and I mean, I've learned the hard way. I've had to learn the hard way. I've had to lose friendships. I've had to lose opportunities. I've had to go through these, trials and tribulations to realize what I don't really agree with in my upbringing and etc. And what I'm really not for, but choose to stand by certain people at one point and try to feel like I tried to accept, but I really, really did not agree, or really kind of realize I don't think it's right for, society, humanity, or myself. And people are mad at me because I'm choosing myself, and I'm choosing to, go in a direction that's going to be beneficial to myself and not really to the crowd of any, there's a certain ideology or a certain movement that people might feel is more right for the world. I'm going towards myself and what is right for me, and people are having issues with that because they don't like the situation. So, but anyways, peace. Because I gotta get offline. I gotta drink more water. I got somebody coming at like between 9 o'clock, between 9 o'clock and 11. I have somebody coming from the insurance company. A nurse practitioner from the insurance company to just go over some stuff with me and etc. So I have to basically just get myself together and um, do what I have to do to just, get by at this point and do what I have to do. Um, I feel kind of a lot like Amala Epinobi too. Amala Epinobi is a very nice woman. She's a conservative woman, but she's a very nice woman because she says she knows, she doesn't try to judge people, and she doesn't try to, totally, disrespect people. Although sometimes people like to go at it and try to like tussle when it comes to their views and etc. But Amala Epinobi, who's a conservative talk show host and etc., she's also very gorgeous. She's also a very gorgeous woman. But Amala Epinobi, she used to be a leftist liberal person, and she's now conservative and has a talk show and stuff. And she doesn't choose to look down on the liberals. I mean, she doesn't choose to look down on liberal people. She hopes that some liberal people will have the right to change, or can change their views, or might be able to change their politics and change where they're at and etc. when it comes to like their views of who, of who that person was at one point. Obviously they feel, the Republicans, they might now feel is very misleading and etc. um so um but yeah, she doesn't try to disrespect them. She tries to be a very nice, she's a Republican, but she tries to be very nice about it, about, saying, oh, maybe you don't believe what we believe at this point in time, but we hope that, maybe you'll realize that maybe, the liberalism is not where we feel the world is at, and etc. Um, but yeah, there's some liberals that would just chew her head off, and have chewed her head off, and have chewed a lot of people's heads off because of, their, people's views and, etc. So I don't know, but I feel kind of a lot like I'm like an OB in a way that, I was once very liberal, and there's things about the liberal stuff that I mean, I was there, and I mean, I can see where people are kind of very being misled, and misjudged, and misappropriated when it comes to their views. But I mean, it's up for that person to change. It's up for that person to choose what they want to choose, and I can't let people do what they have to do. I can let people do what they have to do, but I can't let people tell me differently, or people can't can't let me tell them differently. So, anyways, I'm getting offline, but peace.